go bring my coffee and come back. I'm back. Hello guys, and welcome back to Aseel by Sketchbook. Do you remember that project of yours that you felt that you worked on really hard, but by the end of the day people didn't receive it well? Let me tell you why they might have not liked it, although you have put a lot of effort in it. So what you've seen a few moments ago is a transformation, and it's a very simple transformation, but it's such an important transformation because we have the same elements, the same components, the same pillows, same sofa, same everything. We just arranged it differently. That was our example to tell you how it feels like to look at a presentation of interior design, or not interior design, any presentation in general. Arrange the components, arrange the elements, and make them look nice. So in this particular video, I'm not going to be talking about presentation skills. I'm not going to be talking about content. I might talk about content a little bit. I'll be talking about aesthetics when it comes to presentation. Oh, hi guys. Yes, I'm inside of my screen, and I'll be taking you with me right about now, while taking myself out because we both can't be there, obviously. Okay, you guys, well, now we'll move inside of my computer and I'll show you a presentation that I've already done for one of my projects. As you can see in our title slide, first slide that you see, you have a title and a subtitle. You want to know what the project is, especially if you have, for example, a big residential villa, let's say, and you're breaking down the project on like a smaller room. So what you want to do is like title, the name of the project, and then you want to talk about the part that you're working on. So for example, I'm showing one of the living rooms in one of the projects that I did. Let's talk about font. I am not a graphic designer, but I do appreciate a good font. And one of my graphic designer's friends, she was the one introducing me to Gotham. It's one of the most beautiful fonts, and I find it go really well with a cursive font. The one that I'm using is I Am Fashionista. I'll be linking both down below, so check them out. If you want to know how to install a font on your computer, you can find a tutorial on YouTube, or you can check the tutorials that I posted down below as well. So as you can see, if you mix between both of them, you'll create some dynamic image, and at the same time it goes really well with the whole theme of the background image. One thing about the background image is you can have it as simple as you want, or you can have no background at all, but for the sake of this video I wanted something that is delicate, so I found this also on Unsplash. I'll be linking it down below. Notice how my typography is setting right onto the slate of paper. So this is the theme that I'm going for, something more handmade, you know. It could be a no background at all, format background, let's say it's a gradient. It could be a gradient color, it could be solid fill, whatever it is that you're looking for, but for the sake of this video, this is what I'm keeping. My next slide is a very important slide. This slide is all about content. You want to set expectations for your audience, so you want them to understand what you're gonna show them next. Keep it minimal. Never use too many words. Nobody likes to read anything on PowerPoint. You only want to see words, keywords, something that's sharp and to the point. Our content here is mood board, space planning, furniture board, and budget. Let's say this is like a kind of a second meeting and you want to show the client what you have so far. So, by the way, this is a real project and I just like edited a few things just to keep everything together for this video. And as well as you can see is that I connected the two fonts. So your font on the first slide is the exact same font on the next slide, the exact same font on the third slide, fourth. Keep it cohesive. This is what I'm doing here. And this is not what I always do. It depends on the project. You have to create your own style for presentations. It will help with building your brand because people will associate you with those things, you know what I mean? For example, if you go like neon colors and like a lot of bold colors, that will identify your brand. This is your personal brand, and you're most likely to attract clients that have the same style, and there's a lot of like people who like different things, so it will all work out for you and for them because they'll hire a great designer. Now that you've set your expectations, if you move to the next slide, I have made a mood board. This was actually in Arabic and I've translated it just now and made it in English because my client preferred to read Arabic rather than English. As you can see, there's not much text to read anyway. It's just keywords that I want to represent the design and what kind of style are we going for. This was a majlis, which was like a living room let's just keep it as a living room. And this living room it was like very powdery, it was very pastelish, and it was like it had a hint of glam because it was for females. We have our color scheme here. We have our main picture. Our main picture is this picture, and we gave it a big proportion of the page or of the slide, because what you need to do is you need to differentiate between what kind of things are you going for. Especially if you're doing a mood board, you want to give the right message, like this is what the style that I'm going for. This is how everything is fitting within a rectangle. However, some elements are getting outside of the rectangles. This will give you some visual interest, it will give you something to look at, and it will keep it away from being boring to the eye. So I really suggest you do that. If you want to know how to do this on PowerPoint, I will link down below, and probably here, somewhere here or here, I will link my mood board tutorial using PowerPoint, so that if you watch that, I think you're set for how to make a mood board like this. So I'm just going to be talking about the structure. Everything works within a grid, and if something is taking more than 2 squares, this is your main image. This is your rule of thumb. So I'll be sketching this right now. One of the things that I found right now is this message. It's on my notebook, and it was an accident that I have gotten into in the parking lot, because all of my accidents are in the parking. I'm really bad at parking, you guys. It's ridiculous. This, as you can see, is a grid, and what you want to do is you want to think of your slide as a grid. So if we say that this is our grid, this, as you can see, there are squares, so you want to leave the same amount of squares between of the slide is the same. You want the spacing to always remain the same. So if it's 1 square, it's 1 square. And as you can see right now, if I'm trying to move an element, it will show those arrows, and it will show you how much of a spacing that you have and how much you left, which is not right now, it's pretty ideal. If we go ahead and we go to the next slide, this is also another technique. I have a little plan here. As you can see, this is our plan, and I've made this in like 5 minutes, so I'm very sorry for that because I didn't color my previous plan. So if you look at the plan, we have a sketch here that I sketched myself. We have the sketch of the same area that's shown in the plan, and then we have a little bit of like notes. Again, I'm trying to keep the same manual style that is like going through the pages, the clips and the paper clips and the notes. So these notes right here I downloaded from a website that I'll also be linking down below, and I connected it with a mood board using the color scheme. If you go back to the previous slide, you can see that the color scheme is here. So if you go down, the color scheme is still here, so you show how it's connected to the space planning. And then you can see like the full room in 3D with the sketching, especially if you are in the initial stages of design. So you have sketches, it's nice to show them. You can just put them right by to fill the page, and at the same time to make a better understanding for the client on what's going on within the space, because as designers we train to see things from the top view. For our clients or maybe audience, it's going to be different. It will differ on who you're presenting to. Have a white background. It's nice to have your elements centered, so everything is a nice equal margin. Our next slide is furniture choices. This is where it gets tricky. It's really hard to make a furniture mood board or a furniture choices board, because you're most likely to have all of the furniture either within a white box, or like I did, I removed the background of all of them. What I like to do is I like to gather things that go within the room nearby each other together. So we have an armchair here, and we have our sofa. As you can see, we have an armchair and sofa nearby each other, so putting them together, you can show the connection to the client. And as you can see, you don't only add the furniture, you have to add some kind of accessories just to spice things up. You want to connect everything for your clients, so you want to show them how things are working together. So as you can see, I have the wallpaper as a background, because in reality it will be like that. It will be as a background, and I have the paint code here because I wanted to balance out things, and because this is a completely separate wall for me. If we go to the last slide, it's the budget and the furniture locations, and this is assuming that we made our Pinterest board where we actually pinned all of the furniture that we chose in our design. So for me, this is a real budget, and it's a real life furniture location. So if you're looking for one of those furniture pieces, this is where you can find it. It's up to you how you do this, but what I do is I go to Excel, and I do it with Excel, and then I copy it and put it on my presentation as a PowerPoint. I will make sure to adjust the colors of it. I will adjust the colors to be a part of the design. Here's the thing. This was one of many examples that you can actually go for. You need to stay true to your style. If you don't know your style yet, that's okay. It will take a while for you to actually develop an identity or a brand for yourself where you know exactly how you're going to be designing and what are your go-tos. You might go for a very minimalistic approach, and that's okay. And you might also go for something that's extremely bold and that has a lot of colors and neons and a lot of lights. That's also okay, because by the end of the day, there's a lot of type of clients in the world, there's a lot of different type of projects, there's a lot of different things that you can do, and it's okay to stick to a style or to differ from one time to another, depending on your client and depending on your audience and depending on your personal style. So if you stick to a style, the advantage is that you will have a reputation in the market that this is the style that this person does, which is something that you want to achieve because it's about building your personal brand. For example, if you're more into bold colors, you will attract more commercial places, which is like retail and something that is bold. Hotels sometimes would like something that's bold. So stick to your style, just be true to it and find your own way of presentation, because if you do that, I guarantee you'll have a lot of success and you have a lot of people actually asking for you to do their design. I think we covered all of the points that we needed to talk about. Thank you so much, guys. If you're still here, thank you a lot. It matters to me and I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad to be doing this. Let me know down below if you have any questions at all. I will be more than happy to help. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you actually like the content of it, and share it with your friends if they're designers too, or if they have a presentation tomorrow, who knows. Have a great time of the day wherever you are in the world, and give me a high five because we finished 10 videos. Yeah!